Okay. Choose a page or panel from American-born Chinese that you really like, or one that you don't like, and discuss what it means and why you chose it. What is the significance of your choice, and how does it relate to the rest of the graphic novel as a whole? You may analyze the graphic elements the author uses, such as panel size, panel shape, color choices, narrative boxes, speech and thought bubbles, emanata, facial expressions, body positions or postures, sound effects, content within each panel, use of long shots and expressions, body position or posture, sound effects. Oh, I already said that. Anyway, okay. You may also want to discuss other creative decisions made by Gene Yang, for example, making the Chinky Chapters TV show and making Melanie and Amelia essentially the same character.
So, my favorite page in the entire book was page 105 when Jin was finally given like that shock of courage to ask Amelia to hang out. And the reason I like that is because how the author used the emanata of the lightning to like show the feeling of courage he got. And like Alex said before, that's actually something that happens. Like whether it's to ask a girl to hang out or before a test or something like that, if you get courage, you like feel it just like that. And so I think that was pretty interesting. And then also like the special effects that she used to show like how blurry it was, because he was almost like nauseous because it was actually happening, and like that happens too. So I thought it was really interesting how she used those special effects.
I really like page 223, panel 4, when the Monkey King says, "You know, Jin, I would have saved myself from 500 years imprisonment beneath a mountain of rock had I only realized how good it is to be a monkey." I chose this because it's my favorite text from the book, because it relates to the graphic novel, because the three main characters throughout the whole book are just trying to fit in, and they're just not happy with themselves, and they try to change themselves, and finally the Monkey King learned to accept who he is and be happy about it, which I found extremely powerful, how that's what released him from under the rock.
Yeah, I'm up, Joe. The one that I wrote for that was, we already talked about, but I think it was page 96 or 98 when Cheeky came to the door. I said I didn't like how in panel 1 of page 98, how right off the bat, how they stereotyped Chinky by his lisp and stuff like that, and the way he was dressed, and the Chinese takeout boxes for his luggage, and his hair and his skin color and stuff. I thought that was pretty aggressive on how, and his big buck teeth and stuff, so I really like that, how they did that.
My favorite panel in the book was on page 160, when it's the full page of the Monkey King walking away after he helps the monk down from the spear of the two demons or whatever, and they're walking away, and he's holding him up because he's injured, and his shoes, the shot starts with the bottom of his shoes that are just sitting there, and I thought that was really cool. It's the same thing that Carly was referring to, of where it was really powerful because this character is so arrogant, and it just took this peaceful man to finally bring the good out of him, because you saw it throughout the whole book that there was a part of him in there, and then it was cool to see him turn and how that connected at the end, that the page that Carly was talking about.
Yeah, my favorite panel in the book is on page 78, but a little before that. I think it's I am Tizuyo Tizu or something, talking to the Monkey King and saying, no matter what you do, you can never leave the grass in my hands. And Monkey King, it says he flies through the universe and passes it to beyond reality, and he gets to these gold pillars, and he carves his name and pisses on it, and he flies back saying you weren't there, and he shows up his 4 fingers, and it was on there. I just thought that was the most crazy thing I've ever seen in the book, so that was my favorite panel.
Mine, as bad as it sounds, was page 96. I liked it and I hated it because, I don't know, it showed me how these 3 friends are having fun. They're just laughing and having just having a good time at the bench. And then how 2 guys just saying something can just turn the mood instantly. emotions on their face. Like first panel, they're laughing, just having fun, and then 3 panels later, they're just sad because a couple of things some guys said.
My favorite was the same as the other Carly's. Page 223. I really liked panels 1 through 4. So to start out, just the facial expressions of each person. So Jin really looks just really defeated and kind of confused. He's like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And then I like how the Monkey King looks back at him and smiles and is like, oh, I'm here for you, you know. And then Jin's just kind of okay. And then the Monkey King kind of gives him the wisdom of I could have saved myself from so much imprisonment if I just knew how good it was to be myself. And then Jin kind of looks ashamed, so he's kind of his face, his facial expressions and his posture really show how ashamed he is about how he transformed himself from who he should be. And so I think that's kind of how you know the Monkey King's message really came across, and Jin knows that what he did was wrong.
I have a question
Mhm.
for everyone. So I don't understand how on the next page she's talking about 224. He's flying away, and I get that the card is he figures out that that's where he needed to go, but how did he know? What do you guys think he was thinking to go there? And did you think he was gonna see know that he was gonna see Wei Chen, or do you think he was expecting to see the Monkey King?
I think I personally thought he was just going there to go
Just
there.
'cause.
He was just kind of putting his trust. He was putting his trust in the Monkey King. I don't think he knew what to expect. And just.
Or was it just a surprise?
It was after he had asked, so what am I supposed to do now on page 223?
Oh,
And
there
so
you
that
go.
was kind of just
Yeah.
a delayed answer, I think.
I think you're right. That sounds about right.
Well, my favorite page was 182 because it was so just relatable. It was just the whole page when Jin's sitting in class and it was the conversation replaying it back in his mind. Is it Greg? Is it the guy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Greg.
Greg. She says, so you can do me that favor. He says no, and he keeps on getting progressively no, hell no, or whatever. And that's just so relatable. I've been sitting in class and thinking about the conversation I've had, and everything goes blank around you. And I like how she actually was didn't put color in the rest of the panels other than him and his thought, and you just get lost in your thoughts, and you keep on replaying it back in your mind. What would you do, or what would you do differently? And then the crack gets louder and louder and more bolder, and that's just it's just so relatable. I don't know, I've had that same thing happen to me where you just get more mad and you're just sitting in class and you're dang, I should have done that, or I should have said that. And I like that the best because it was just so relatable and it really stuck to me.
I definitely agree with that. After you have oh, I should have done this in this situation, or if you think a nasty roast, right after you get out of it.
Yeah.
I should have said that to him.
My favorite panel is kind of related to Alex's. On page 32, where Jin's just kind of sitting there eating his dumplings, and then the kids kind of come over and they ask what it is. So they say to stay away from his dog. But then what kind of looks like Greg that we meet later in the book says hey, be cool, man, kind of sticking up for Jin. And then on to the next page, they're mean to Greg, and then he kind of goes with them and doesn't stick up for Jin anymore. And then kind of going to page 179, where Greg then asks Jin to not see Amelia anymore, kind of justifying it that he's looking out for kind of Amelia's image and what people would think of her. And I think the people that were being mean to Jin back in elementary school were kind of doing the same thing for Greg by telling him not to stick up for Jin when they were being mean to Jin. So I thought that was kind of I liked seeing it at first where Greg was sticking up for Jin and there was actually somebody there to do that, but then I kind of got sad that he was affected by it too when he didn't stick up for Jin anymore, and he was actually the one kind of being mean to him in the end. So I just kind of connected those two things.
I really liked page 72 because it showed Monkey King like breaking out of the panel, and I thought that was different. Like I hadn't seen that before. And then it says he flew through the boundaries of reality itself. Like he's just kind of breaking away from who he's supposed to be, or like trying to be somebody else. And I feel like that's like, we can all relate to that. I feel like there's always a point in life where you're trying to be like somebody else or something. So then I'd like to pose a question. Can you guys think of a time when you wanted to be like someone else or change yourself because somebody said something to you?
I think that like every person can say yes to that, because I feel like at one point in our lives, like we wanted to be someone else, we wanted to be somebody different than who we are. Like middle school, I feel like that was a big time when like people were trying to like, you know, like experiment with like who they are, like trying to find like their friend groups and stuff like that. Like, but at the end of the day, like you're like you are you, and you can't be anybody else. So it's just like the matter of like accepting who you are.
You know, I'd like to connect that to my favorite page. My favorite page was 145 when the Monkey King was stuck under the rock and the monk just told him like how he can get out, and it's like it was kind of like that. It's like when I like these things are being piled on, and you think that this big powerful thing is your best version of yourself, and you want to be like he wanted to be like all the kings and gods and stuff that was up in heaven. When he got stuck under there, he thought he can only get out by being this big all powerful thing, when in reality all you had to do was just be yourself, and just the simplest answer is the way to get out, because it's like I took it as like it's representing like how like everything just keeps getting piled onto you, like all this stress, all homework, work, all this other stuff just kind of piling on you, and you feel like you can't get out, and you're trying to figure out, and you're trying really hard to do it, but sometimes you just need a second point of view, and it's usually the simplest answer that helps you get all of that. So
really quick, there's something that kind of we didn't really talk a lot about. What's the name? So it's Jin Wang, and then what's the name of his friend who ended up being Wei Chen? So when Jin kisses Wei Chen's girlfriend, and then Wei Chen goes to the door and is just completely real with him and tells him how he's feeling and everything, Jin just shoots him down, and he ends up punching Jin. But like emotionally, I think he was like, it doesn't make a lot of sense, this jump. Like, I think he got torn down. He was just being himself, and because the next time we see him, he's got earrings, he's smoking, he's got a like beat up car, and I don't know, that's me totally judging but like, he went from being this good student and everything, and the way one person acted just totally changed him. I don't know.
I think that relates to what happened to Jin, where like people were mean to him and he wanted to be liked, so he changed himself as well.
Yeah.
And like he like curled his hair and stuff, and I think that kind of is the same thing.
That's the page that I chose to write about too, was page 191. Just because like Jin did to Wei Chen exactly what Greg did to him, which I think kind of just like falls along with the stereotype thing. Like you just kind of do what you hear, and like that's what Jin did, what Greg did, and then like, because Jin was a new kid at one point, and then he started to turn into everyone else, and then at the end of the book we see like Wei Chen do the same thing that Jin did. So I just thought that was like a theme.
Okay. Number 4,